Hello. So in the second part of this series, we'll take you through the onboarding and the installation steps. Now, before we do that, we would like to inform you about the four flows that we're going to showcase to you over the course of this course. So this accounting assistant has four core flows that you can use to make your job really easy. And the best part is you could use all these four flows in one go. So that would save you around 45% of your time in terms of your bookkeeping and your data entry. And we are going to take you through that. However, to give you a broad overview, let me just take you through the core four flows that we'll take you through. In flow number one, you can create the purchase voucher in Tally with a click of a button, bring it to RazorpayX. And after you have brought into RazorpayX, you can make the payment via the RazorpayX vendor payments app. It is very important to note that this is the RazorpayX vendor payment app and not the RazorpayX payouts app. Now, once you made the payment using the RazorpayX vendor payment app, our integration, our smart account assistant will help you automate the payment entry and the reconciliation in Tally. So you don't have to do these two steps for anything that you create or you pay using this flow, right? So this is the flow number one. Now, for a lot of you, you may not want to bring in purchase voucher into RazorpayX. You may want to bring payment vouchers into RazorpayX. And by the way, if you're getting confused about payment voucher and purchase voucher terms, do feel free to forward this page to your chartered accountant or your finance team. They would understand it, right? Now, many times the purchase, you may not want to bring the purchase voucher, you just want to bring the payment voucher into RazorpayX, right? In that case, we advise you to use flow number two, where you can create a payment voucher in Tally. With a click of a button, you can bring it to RazorpayX. And once you have brought into the RazorpayX, you can use the RazorpayX vendor payments app to actually make the payment. Now, once you've made the payment, our accounting assistant will automate the reconciliation in Tally. So whereas in flow number one, we were automating the payment entry and the reconciliation, in flow number two, we are automating only the reconciliation since the payment entry has already been passed by you. Now, we come to flow number three. In flow number three, as you know, we use the power of the vendor payments app. So vendor payments app is very powerful when it comes to sourcing bills. You can use our email integration, and don't worry, we'll take you through it. You can use our vendor portal, or you can even use our OCR to automate the data entry part of your bills, right? Now, once you have uploaded a bill onto RazorpayX, you will not need to do any journal entries in Tally, because what this flow does is that if you create a bill on RazorpayX, with a click of a button, you'd be able to bring it into Tally, and our plugin or our accounting assistant will automatically create the journal entries in Tally for you. You don't have to do that. However, those journal entries will not be posted into Tally, right? Till the time you review the journal entries in Tally and you approve them one by one or all together, it's up to you, right? Once you have approved the journal entries in Tally, you can basically repeat the same process for the payment process. So for example, the bill might be booked on one day, but the payment might happen on another. Even that is supported. The moment you want to make the payment on RazorpayX, you create the payment and the payment entry and the reconciliation is automated. Now, if you look at these three flows, in the first flow, we were automating the payment entry and the reconciliation. In the second flow, we were automating the reconciliation. And in the third flow, we are automating the bill creation, the payment entry, and the reconciliation in Tally, so that your entire bookkeeping work is cut by half. You don't have to do more than that, right? Now, a lot of the times you may use RazorpayX to make more than vendor payments. For that, you've got flow number four, where you can use the smart bank statement to bring all your transactions in real time into Tally from RazorpayX. Now, these transaction details will be synced back into Tally with all the context of, for example, whom the payment was made to, what was the TDS, what was the GST, what was the purpose of the payment. If you give any notes, even they will be synced. And also the payout ID as well as the transaction ID will be automatically synced into your Tally. So using all of these four flows, the best part is you can use all of these four flows together. So using these four flows, you can actually cut down the amount of bookkeeping work and on data entry and the time of closing your books of accounts by at least 40 to 50%. Right now, across the during this course, we'll show you how to use each and every one of these and how to use these individually. If you want to jump to one particular section, please feel free to do that. It's not like you need to know part one to do part four. That's not really how this course works. So please feel free to jump to that section if you want to. However, please go through this video, as in this video, in the next few steps, we'll be discussing how you can start the integration and how you can go about installation. Now, if you go to RazorpayX and you go into this is your main dashboard. So the moment you land onto it, you will see this banner. You will see also within the vendor payments app, this banner, which is sync your vendor payments with accounting software today. Now, if you do not see these two banners, you will see this button of accounting integration. You can click on this as well. Now, once you do that, so if you want even greater option over here, you can go to this into your accounts and settings, my accounts and settings, go to integration and get started from here, right? So there are 4 different ways in which you can get started. However, let's go through the most easy one. Let's go through this one. When you click on account integration, you would see these 4 options. These are the 4 different accounting software integrations that we support: Zoho Books, Tally, and QuickBooks. Since we are talking about Tally, let's just go ahead and select it. And you will see this option of downloading the file. Now, click here and download the file, right? Now, once you've downloaded this file, you will need to put this downloaded the file into your system. So for example, over here, it is sitting here in my downloads folder, right, over here. Now, there are 2 or 3 different ways. Now, if, for example, you have your Tally is on cloud, then your Tally cloud administrator will have to install the TCP file. So please feel free to send the TCP file to them so that they can install it. Only then will you be able to see it in your Tally, right? On the other hand, if, for example, you're using desktop Tally, and this works with both Tally ERP 9 and Tally Prime. So if you are on ERP 9 version 6 onwards, this TCP file will be supported for you. Now, once you've done that, for example, here you are at the gateway of Tally, go to help, click on TDL and add-on, and then go to manage local TDLs. Once you come over here, go to the folder in which you have downloaded your TCP file. Right click on it, go to properties, and then go to security. So secure, copy this path, right? This downloads. Okay, copy this. Now come back to Tally, go over here and click specify path. So over here, simply paste the path that you have already. You have already selected. Let me try and do that again. Let me go ahead. 1 second. Path. Okay, you click on the path and you load it. Now, once you've done this, you simply load the TDL and say yes. Now you would see that this has been loaded and you would see the details of this with RazorpayX Private Limited as the author. Now, once you've done that, here is the really interesting part. Now, once you've loaded the TCP file here into your Tally, you would see 3 changes happen on your gateway of Tally. Number 1, your RazorpayX in RazorpayX option appears here in the gateway of Tally. Second, on the right hand side, you would see RazorpayX settings appear and RazorpayX sync, right? This is really interesting and important because what you need to do now is go on to RazorpayX settings. Now, let me just make it simple for you. Over here, number one thing you need to do is first enable your RazorpayX integration, right? In RazorpayX integration, below it, you would see this merchant ID and email ID. Now, if you go back to your tally on your RazorpayX, close it, and over here, you would find your merchant ID. Simply copy this and paste this over here, where you would find your RazorpayX merchant ID. Secondly, copy and paste the email address of your owner or your admin ID over here, right? The best is to get owner, because every 7 days, and this is very important, every 7 days we'll send an OTP to this email address. Now, you would need to enter that OTP over here later, right? So make sure that this is of the admin or the owner only. This is a security feature to make sure your financial data and your banking data is safe. Now, once you've done that, after that, most of your job, you have installed a TCP. And we will now take you through the individual products and how you can get started with them. So in the next video, we'll take you through how you can send purchase voucher from RazorpayX to from Tally to RazorpayX, which is, if you remember, flow number 1. Thank you and see you in the next video.